Welcome to Big Red Rant, everyone. We are continuing our preseason breakdown of the offense starting. Going positionally, we're on the tight ends now. Before we get to it, thank you everyone for all of the likes, all of the new subscriptions. We've been having a lot of growth. We really appreciate it. We could not have done it without you. Now, Travis Vocaleck, my guy. I'm in love with this dude. All right. How many receptions do you think he gets? Let's just get straight to it.
I'd say 200 or 300.
Ooh, we're talking like,
Easily.
ooh, yeah. So he's the next Gronk, is what you're officially saying.
I'm saying mid-20s.
Double Gronk?
Mid-20s. Where you at? 40?
I'm hoping for him breaking 30. I want to keep up that Austin Allen feeling.
Yeah. He's not, I don't feel like he has the talent that Austin Allen had, but hopefully quarterback play-wise, it's
a better system.
Better. Yeah, overall, I think maybe we'll pass more. You know, I mean, that's the sounds of the intentions or whatever, the expectations that everybody's thinking. Typically a new quarterback and or new system, quarterbacks check down to the tight end or to a running back, you know, leaking out of the backfield. So there could be some more opportunities there. Whipple's offense last year, the top two tight ends combined for 65 receptions and 10 touchdowns. Our two, which was Vocaleck and Allen, combined for 49 receptions and 2 touchdowns, and 38 receptions and both touchdowns, were Austin Allen. So, you know, whatever you want to read into that, whether that's because we were focused more on running the ball because the offensive line couldn't hold up, Martinez was looking too much downfield and running around, whatever the reasons are. But I mean, that was a record-breaking season for Allen as far as tight ends in the program goes. So I wouldn't think that you're gonna finally break. You're not finally, but I mean, you go that long before you break the record, and then you turn around the next year. And
how healthy is he?
No one knows, man. No one knows what the injuries are or how extensive they are unless you either see it during a game or somebody leaks something on Twitter, like the guy themselves leaks it. I mean, Frost and the staff and the other players surprisingly always keep things pretty under wraps. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I find mixed things between he hasn't participated all spring or he has, but he hasn't had any contact. We'll see when, you know, practice gets rolling, they go again. Your other boy that you really like, Fidone, towards ACL last year, he was, you know, number 1, number 2 tight end in the country, whatever you look at last year's recruiting class. We actually pulled 3 guys out of that class, and we've barely seen him. He's out again where he hasn't been participating at all. I don't know if we're going to see him at all or at some point, or when he comes back, how healthy he's going to be. I would imagine there's some depth there. You know, like I said, last year's recruiting class, we got 3 guys. Vocaleck should be looked at as a higher end guy. I mean, there was talks and he considered going pro when Allen did. It's probably a good thing he didn't. But I mean, I think he's the clear cut number 1. But I mean, there's some guys there that there's going to be opportunity. 1, because of the injuries, and 2, because of the new system. You know, if we're going to be passing as much as they're talking about. But I mean, when you have Scott Frost, you're going to be running the ball a lot. So I think a lot of that's going to depend on how well these guys are on the physical side of, you know, run blocking. And then obviously just the added bonus is the receiving ability.
I pray this guy is healthy. If he's healthy, dude, It could be the difference. I just feel like having he and Vocaleck both playing together could be the difference between a mediocre season and a wow, y'all got better type of season.
Yeah. When you have guys that are that big that can obviously run block, but then also that athletic and the ability to add that many
changes the offense
levels, to the passing game. And that's Whipple's big thing is he likes to game plan each individual game based on the weaknesses of the defense, and even in games adjusting to what defenses are doing well, how he can exploit them. And versatile tight ends that can run block really well and receive really well are a very good option to have when you're trying to throw off the defense. You know what I mean? You can leave the same guys on the field and achieve multiple things, whether you're wanting to run the ball or whether you're wanting to throw the ball.
So we've got another guy who's sneaking in there as far as sneaking in some playing time, going to get some extra snaps. Nate Borkasher. And I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sure I'm not. Nate, I'm sorry. But 6'4".
You know he's watching.
Of course. 235. Just kidding. We know he's not watching. But 235, he's not as big as the other guys. But, Scott Frost has mentioned him by name. That's got to count for something.
Yeah, and Sean Beckton made it a point last year when after he watched him and seen him, to not let him get more than the 4 games so that he could redshirt him, because he liked what he saw. He liked the fact that he wasn't where he can be. He saw whatever he needed to see to think that the ceiling's up there and hasn't been achieved yet. One of the big things, they want him to gain weight. Apparently he's been doing that. They're saying that and you hear all kinds of rumors, but supposedly all spring long didn't drop a ball, was already a really physical, good guy, or good run blocking type of tight end. So the big thing for me that I think is kind of cool, man, I was excited when Frost came in because he talked about rebuilding up the walk-on program. And here's a guy that's coming in, as a walk-on. And like we're talking about, the 21 class had 3 scholarship guys. Is it Chase Andrew from Minnesota comes in? There's talks of him needing to be ready to step in if he needs to play. So I mean, there's a lot of guys around him that could, that they gave scholarships to bring in and do it, and he's standing out over a lot of those, like Hickman and Brewington have both been battling injuries. They're both a little bit smaller, a little bit more versatile wide receiver tight end types. I know Brewington kind of made his hay last year in the Fordham or Buffalo game, whatever it was. It did some good run blocking. I think he caught a touchdown. People, were, well, who's this guy? We'd like to see him more. So I mean, there's plenty of opportunity, I think, there, and there's plenty of guys. But when you have an injury plague, so to speak, at that position to the extent that it's had, you're going to need consistency from guys, but you're going to need guy durability, so it's tough to say who's going to play. Again, back to the system, we don't know if we're going to do a lot of 2 tight end sets or 1. If it's 1, I mean, whether it's 1 or 2, you pretty much guarantee Vocaleck's going to be out there every rep that he can be out there for. So you're either looking at who's going to spell him on some rest on longer drives, or who's going to be on the other side when we do 2 tight end sets. And right now, I mean, with injuries and everything else, Borkasher seems to be the guy that everybody's talking about, excited about, and seems to be developing the best.
Going back to Chancellor Brewington, I think he's going to have a big year. The more we talk about him, I'm just starting to get this feeling like we know he's a fantastic blocker, but he's also like the size and I presume more closer to the speed of a wide receiver. So you got this guy out there that is going to be on the scouting report as a blocker, and he's shiftier than an actual tight end, but in that position, I could see him being a nice usable piece because you can count on him to block, but hopefully move like a receiver. Is that not valuable? Am I crazy?
I mean, it's super valuable, especially if you have the speed and quickness of a receiver and you've got linebackers trying to defend you in the pass game. That's kind of the point of a lot of the newer tight ends is, you get these guys that are athletic enough that they can't be defended by an outside linebacker, but they're too big for a corner or safety to play him. So I don't think he's ever going to be too big for that. I shouldn't say ever. Well, yeah, ever. I mean, he's been around a while and he's not that big.
Hey, but wouldn't it be nice if he just came in at like 230 pounds all of a sudden?
Yeah, but I
he's
mean,
6'3". He's got the height for it.
Slow down. Yeah, but a lot of times you hear guys put on weight and people get excited and then they get hurt or they're slower.
True.
Or they lose a step, in quickness or whatever. So I mean, I don't know. But to me, it doesn't really matter. I think every guy needs to do whatever that individual thinks he needs to do to elevate his game, because we have enough options that if they're just healthy, it could be a real scary position for other teams to have to game plan for.
I agree, man. And I'm excited to get further into we're going offensive line next, I believe will be our next video. And I can't wait to get into this defense. But everybody, right? Everybody, let us know in the comments below. What do you guys think about our tight end group? Is it going to be a strong point of the team? Is it going to be weak? Are you worried about the injuries? Are you not? Thanks everybody for all the likes and new subscriptions. Don't forget to hit the like button again on your way out and subscribe. Can't wait to see y'all next time. Go Skurs.